Hello. So today is actually a perfect day for me to be doing this video because I am feeling super tired and my body is telling me, please get some rest, please sleep. Vivi's been up and down at night and I'm so tired. So I'm going to do this video and then I'm going to listen to my body and see if I can take a nap or at least rest. Today, I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about listening to our bodies and how very vitally important that is. It's important on a few fronts. One is that if you listen to your body, you will be healthy and well physically. If you listen to it and give it what it needs, you have to have that other part in it. And then also if we listen to our bodies internally about what we need psychologically, we will also be healthy in that sense as well. Now there are issues with those, right? But I'll talk about those in a second. First, I want to just talk about the benefits. So the benefits of listening to your body as far as health are that your body tells you what to eat, it tells you when to eat, it tells you when to rest, it tells you when to go to the bathroom, it tells you when to come out of the water because you need to breathe, right? Those are not different things. People think, oh, my body doesn't tell me when to eat or when to stop eating. It actually does. If you are cleaned out enough and if you are in tune with it, it will tell you everything it needs and will keep you healthy and well. So psychologically also, it will tell you what it needs. For instance, maybe I just need to feel sad. Maybe I need to cry in the moment. Maybe I'm feeling like laughing and I really want to laugh. If I'm really in touch and in tune with myself, those things become really natural and my body just is in flow. And what happens if we don't listen to our bodies? What happens if we don't pay attention to those messages? Well, we get sick, right? It's very clear we get sick. Physically, we can get sick psychologically, and we get really, really off track. So an issue with listening to our body, one of them, is that we are not tuned in, right? We're not practiced at doing that. So that is a good thing to practice. In my first book called Guided by Your Own Stars, I happen to have it right here, I go through these practices to tune back into both the physical body and the emotional psychic self. So doing some of those practices, like really just being aware in the moment of what does the air feel like on my skin? What am I touching? What does the seat feel like under my buns? All of those things that have been used also for a long time. If you've been in therapy or coaching or counseling, that's a technique that's often used if you are in some state of anxiety, or if you are rambling around in your head in the future or the past. That's a great way to come back into the present, is to focus on what is happening to your body right now. Because one of the great gifts of our body is that it is always in the present moment. It cannot be otherwise. Like, what if your body was thinking about processing something it ate last week rather than processing what you just ate? Like, it's not even possible for the body to be anywhere but present. So it really can be this trusted, loving, wise guide for us if we just tune back into the body. My favorite thing is to just tune into the feeling of being alive. I don't know how to describe it other than it's like a tingling in my hands and feet. And if you close your eyes, and it may take a minute, but just breathe slowly and focus on that energy in your body. It's always in the present and it's always in what's real. So that's a really, really, really good thing to do for all of you, physiologically, psychologically, emotionally. So some of the things that can route us out of that are, I started to say, being out of touch with that, with the body's sensations. We get really enculturated out of being in touch with our bodies. I read a quote last night, and it didn't say who the quote was from, but it was in a Tanya Zavasta book called Your Right to Be Beautiful on Raw. And the quote is, Basically, that never ever does it happen that wisdom says one thing and nature says another. Nature is always wisdom, and your body is nature. So if we can listen and tune into that, it will always tell us the wise thing to do. Now, another way it can get disrupted or routed out of the actual reality, the present moment, is we can experience trauma generally in childhood, but you can obviously experience trauma anytime in your life. And that trauma can become stuck in your body, and you can get an energetic block with that. And then you might not actually see what's happening. You might actually be in response to your traumatic block, right, in the moment. So if I had some sort of, let's say, crazy, scary experience when I was little with balloons, and I just have a fear of balloons, that will stop me from seeing what's present in the moment, right? So if I go to a birthday party and balloons are there, I might freak out and want to run away. So obviously that's not the truth of what's happening. So we also need to deal with and process those traumas that are in the body. I personally do trauma work every week with a therapist, and it is fantastic. And you don't have to do it forever. You just sort of deal with enough of the trauma, and it does this teeter-totter thing where it evens out and you're not in that state anymore with those things. So highly recommend that for sure. In addition to, of course, like reading, doing, personal work on yourself, doing body work. Massage is fantastic. Yoga is fantastic. Anything where you're working out the energy in the body. I don't know if you've ever had where you're doing a yoga pose and all of a sudden you just start crying and something just comes out. Or you're just sitting on your couch watching a movie and it hits some trigger of yours and it comes out. So all of those things are therapeutic in the sense that they're allowing you to release stored traumatic emotion in your body. And that is a real, real, real thing. There's also a book that I'm going to actually have to look at it. Shoot. Has a tiger on the front. I believe it's called Releasing Trauma, something like that. I will link it below. I'm blanking on what it is right now, and I didn't think about it till just this moment. So yes, I will link that below. But it is basically a trauma release method, and it definitely recommends doing it with a therapist, but just reading about it and kind of understanding the nature of trauma and the nature of the release of that trauma, I think, can be really, really helpful. It might be called Taming the Tiger, now that I'm thinking about it, but I'll link it below in the description. So those are a couple of ways that our bodies can be routed out of actually being able to respond in the moment to what is in the moment. Another good avenue to pursue is looking at Byron Katie's work, if you haven't done that. Her work is called The Work, and it's basically questioning your thoughts and beliefs in the moment and freeing yourself from those so that you can basically be with what is. And that is what we want to be doing with our body, be with what is. So checking in, like, do I feel tired? What do I need to do? What is my body telling me in any given moment? I have done, as you probably know, raw vegan food for 11 years, so I have found that I've gotten very sensitive to what I put in my body and what I don't and what it needs and what it doesn't need. And I can eat something and I will get a very clear sense of, no, don't eat this, or yes, have more of this, that kind of thing. It will definitely tell me when I'm hungry. Will tell me when to stop eating. I've been having some interesting experiences with doing intermittent fasting, which my body definitely loves and wanted. So once, and it was really moving into that on its own. And once I started doing it, it just felt really right and really good. I've been doing it for, several weeks. I haven't lost 1 pound, which is great. I didn't want to. And I think it's just because my body is stabilized where it wants to be. But I could just really feel when my body was ready, when my body is ready to eat in the morning. So for instance, usually I eat around 11, and this morning my body, because it'll go through this phase of like, okay, I feel my stomach being super empty, and then it'll be like, okay, now you need to eat for your functioning. And there's a period of time in there, and I usually just wait out that first time and wait for that next signal of, okay, I need to put something in. So that's just an example of your body telling you what it wants. And another example within that is that once I eat, so I'm eating generally about 11, 2, and then 4, 5. And so what I started doing, because I didn't want to lose weight, was to just eat a lot during those periods of time. And my body is just saying, nope, we don't need this. It doesn't feel good. It feels like I'm overstuffing my system, and it just feels really gross. So that's something I've been noticing lately. Okay, I'm listening. I'm gonna, I'm just gonna eat until I feel like I'm done eating. And sometimes that's just a green juice. This morning I drank a green juice, and then I had made this amazing apple pear crumble last night, and I thought, well, I'll just eat that for breakfast with my juice, and it was too much. My body actually didn't want me to eat anymore after the juice, and I was like, but I don't want to get hungry later, and it's this not being in the moment thing that is the downfall always, right? For anything, it's having an investment in keeping something, having an investment in not wanting to lose something. How do I keep it around? How do I continue whatever it is I want to continue? How do I stop what I want to stop? Not that it's wrong to see something that needs to change and be changing it, but this investment that actually takes us out of the moment. For instance, I know my stomach is full. I know it's telling me not to eat anymore, but I'm thinking, yeah, but in an hour I may be hungry if I don't eat more, is completely out of alignment with my body. So you could take that to every single level of your life, right? And look at whenever there's an investment in the future that is out of alignment with the present, what do we have to do? We have to, like Lisa Karen says, we have to separate. We have to cut ourselves in two, and we have to disconnect from the body. And doing that will always, always, always be detrimental, and at least never, never, never be beneficial. So if you have an investment in your Aunt Petunia really wanting you have an investment in her having a good opinion of you, and she wants you to come see her really badly today, but you're not feeling like it. You actually need to rest. If you go against what your body wants to do what someone else wants for you, it is not wants you to do for them, basically. It's never a gift. It's never love, right? It's if we're loving ourselves, and if someone is really loving us, then we want everybody to be doing what their body is telling them in the moment. So if I text you, I will never expect you to text me back. If you don't, I might say, hey, what's up, in like a couple of days, or like, whatever. There's never an expectation that something is going to happen, because I know that everybody's doing their own thing. And by the way, I would never say, hey, what's up? Like, hey, what's up? How come you didn't answer me? It's like, hey, you feeling okay? Just checking in, something like that, I might say. But I know that everyone's in their own body, and their body's telling them something different, and everybody's got a trillion things going that I have no idea of. So really just the point is to stick with what your body is telling you. Start to be aware of where the investments are outside of that, where you're cheating yourself out of presence with your body and disconnecting from yourself and making yourself unhealthy, because you have to be a team with your body. That's kind of the point, I think, is our body is a system that lets us know what it needs so it can thrive. And if we're ignoring those for whatever reasons, and there are a lot of cultural reasons that we do that, right? Workaholics get reinforced for doing that. We get reinforced for socially eating, and we get sometimes criticized for not eating what someone serves us, right? There's a lot of different ways we could make decisions that are out of alignment with our bodies. But I like to remember what I just said, which is that people who really love us want us to be in our own alignment and want us to do what we know is best for us. So I definitely want that for you, and I want that for me. So I hope this was a good message at a good time, and I wish you well. Bye.